Jonathan from Rupert Neve Designs, and I'm here today to show you how to set up and use your new Shelford Channel. The Shelford Channel is a vintage-style channel strip, and it consists of a microphone preamplifier, an inductor EQ, a diode bridge compressor, and a really high-quality DI. You can use it on its own, or you can get a pair of them and use them for stereo recording, stereo mastering, or on your mix bus. The cables you will need will depend on the application and what gear you're using the Shelford Channel with. If you're using a microphone, take an XLR mic cable and plug it into the microphone input on the back of the Shelford Channel. If you're using the line input, take another XLR cable and plug that into the line input on the back of the Shelford Channel. Now, because there's switching on the front panel, you can leave both connected at the same time. Depending on the gear that you're hooking up, you're either going to use the main plus 26 dBu output, or you're going to use the -6 output. The line output is designed for gear that can handle a full plus 24 dBu or more. The -6 output is designed for gear that wants to see -20 dBu, and this includes the Universal Audio Apollo series, the Focusrite Scarlett series, the Lynx Aurora, most of the PreSonus interfaces, and almost any USB bus powered interface. You want to consult your owner's manual of your interface or other piece of gear to find out which output is the best choice for you. You can use both outputs of the Shelford Channel simultaneously and creatively. You can bring them both over to your DAW or recording device and print one at the full level and print one 6 dB below that for a safety or more conservative level. You can also process one and not process the other. Turn on the Shelford Channel with the switch on the back and you'll see the VU meter light up. Next, you want to select the source you're going to use. If you want to use the microphone or DI input, you want this switch to be in the out position. If you want to use the line input, you want to engage this switch. When the line input is selected, both the red rotary gain knob and the 48-volt phantom power switch are disabled. When you select the microphone and DI input, if you insert a 1/4-inch cable into the DI input, the microphone input is disabled. If your microphone requires phantom power, such as an active ribbon or a condenser microphone, turn on 48-volt phantom power here. If you're using a dynamic, a passive ribbon, or a condenser with its own power supply, you won't need to turn the phantom power on. Remember, you want to turn down or mute your monitors when you're turning phantom power on and off to protect them. Now it's time for some sound. When you're using the microphone input, I like to focus on gain and signal level first, and then worry about EQ and compression. So the first thing that you want to do is turn up the red rotary gain knob about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way and check your level on the signal meter. You want to be at around 0 dB. This will of course vary with the type of signal you're recording and how transient it is. You want to make sure you're testing a fairly loud portion of your recording. Then you can use the silver trim control for an additional plus or minus 6 dB of fine level control. If you want to remove some unwanted low frequency content, engage the high pass filter and bring it up about halfway or around 100 Hz. This is just a starting point, and this will vary with the program material and how much you want to remove. Now that we've established proper signal level, we can engage the inductor EQ. Turn the inductor EQ on and pick the frequencies that you want to adjust. There are two forms of the high and low EQ, shelving and bell-shaped or peaking. Shelving literally at the frequency select shelves it above or below that frequency. The peaking control is more of a bell-shaped curve centered on that particular frequency. On the mid-frequency band, you have the option of selecting a higher or lower Q. When you select the higher Q, it is in fact a narrower cut and boost. When you select the lower Q, it is a wider cut and boost. To turn on the diode bridge compressor, engage the compressor in switch. Let's start with a ratio of either 1.5/1 or 2/1. For this example, we're going to use 2/1. The timing control affects both the attack and release of the diode bridge compressor. When you engage the fast switch, it makes the attack and release twice as fast in all 6 positions of the timing control. Experiment with different speeds depending on your program material and its transients. I like to start with either medium fast or medium. The sixth position of the timing control, the auto position, is in fact variable and program dependent. Use the red gain knob to set the output to the right level for either your mixer, interface, or the next piece of gear in your chain. As you use increasing amounts of compression, a fun trick is to use the blend control to bring back some of the original dynamics of the program material. This is also called parallel compression. If you're recording something with a lot of low frequencies, or you find that the low frequencies are triggering the diode bridge compressor, try engaging the high-pass filter to sidechain switch, which takes the high-pass filter out of the program path and puts it in the sidechain of the diode bridge compressor. Now, remember, this doesn't take away any low frequencies from your program material. It just means that the diode bridge compressor will not be triggered by low frequency material as much. This is definitely something you want to explore if you're using a pair of Shelford channels on a stereo bus or for mastering. Silk and texture are very special and unique features of the Shelford channel. When you engage Silk Red and push up the texture control, you are saturating the output transformer and producing mid-range and high-frequency harmonics. When you engage Silk Blue, you're producing more low-frequency harmonics. This gives you the vintage vibe and character that Rupert Neve Designs is so beloved for. Remember, the harder that you push the output transformer, the more apparent the texture effect will be. You can select between output metering and gain reduction by engaging this switch on the front panel. If you want to use the DI in the Shelford channel, plug one end of a 1/4-inch instrument cable into your instrument and the other end into the input on the front panel of the Shelford channel. This will automatically disconnect the microphone input. Then, if you also want to run the signal out to an amplifier or a pedal board, take another 1/4-inch cable and plug that into the through, and the other end of that will feed that piece of gear. If you're experiencing 60 cycle hum, try using the ground lift switch on the front panel and see which position has the least amount of hum. Remember, you can learn more about all our gear at rupertneve.com, and please feel free to contact us with any questions. Now, please enjoy your wonderful new Shelford channel.